What is an igneous extrusive rock, some may ask? Both igneous types are made up of magma and lava. Igneous extrusive rocks are basically just lava rocks, which lava is different from magma. Here's an igneous extrusive rock. I believe this specific rock is actually dacite, but it might be andesite. The specific rock has a pretty big black reflective spot, which is pretty cool. I believe that mineral is actually biotite, but I could be wrong. Maybe it's hornblende or something else. Now, it's important to note that igneous extrusive rocks have a whole bunch of different sized and shaped minerals. Here's a better example of what I mean. Very uneven. Here's another what I believe is dacite as well. Here's what it looks like zoomed in. Notice how it has a whole bunch of striations. Human. Come now, don't be like Coda. Don't be a photo bomber. I'll give you your taxes later, trust. Here's what I believe is another dacite. Notice how this rock has a different colored base than the other ones? It's important to note that igneous extrusive rocks come in a lot of different sizes, shapes, and colors. It's a lot of variation. Notice how this dacite, despite being bigger than a lot of my other dacite rocks, is a lot more fine-grained. Here's another example of just how weird these igneous extrusive rocks can be. It just looks so different and so weird, but then, look, it just looks like another piece of dacite. Igneous extrusive rocks tend to be more fine-grained or just fine particle because they don't really have the time to form big crystals because they kind of get erupted out volcanoes. The specific rock almost looks like an igneous intrusive, which it might be. Now, when in the wild looking for these rocks, it's important to note that a lot of the time they're going to be eroded, weathered, or maybe they'll be alright, but sometimes not so much, like this specimen here. Here's a close-up of this dacite specimen. Notice how the white, which is usually made up of quartz and plagioclase, is kind of just different size, different shape, just kind of uneven. Because the lava was erupted out of a volcano, it kind of cooled down really quickly, which is why everything's just so uneven and weird. Notice how this specimen has a weird quartz line going throughout it? This is something that can only really happen in igneous extrusive rocks for the most part. Notice how the same specimen also has this giant biotite crystal. It's much bigger than the surrounding crystals, and it's kind of just chilling there all by itself. Here's another igneous extrusive rock, however, to be honest with you, this one's a bit odd. I'm not really sure what this is. Notice how this rock has a bunch of different sized and shaped minerals. This is how we know that it's an igneous extrusive, but the mineral coloration and whatnot is just throwing me off a little bit with this one. Of course, there's a whole bunch of other types like this specimen right here of igneous extrusive rocks. Unfortunately, I just don't have time. Goodbye.